What is going on, you guys? Ryan from WWTFix here. Welcome back to a brand new video. I've actually uploaded 2 times in the past couple days. I am kind of proud of myself. I would call this the Raw exclusive pay-per-view. However, a SmackDown superstar has been added to this card, which of course I will get into. But we've got tables, ladders, and chairs coming up just in a few hours. Of course, yesterday news broke that AJ Styles would be replacing Bray Wyatt to take on Finn Balor, which I can't wait for. Again, I'm going to talk about how excited I am for that match and all that. And another thing is Kurt Angle will be replacing Roman Reigns in the 3-on-5 TLC match that was supposed to be the Shield against the Bar, Miz, Kane, and Strowman, which is going to be very interesting. We're going to talk about that soon as well. As for the kickoff show, I'm not quite sure what's on there. I think it's Sasha Banks versus Alicia Fox. And if that's the case, I'll say Sasha Banks gets the victory for no real reason. I haven't been keeping up, honestly, that much with the women's division and whatnot. I mean, I'm still personally waiting for the Sasha Banks turn, wondering if that's ever going to happen, especially now that Nia Jax is taking time off. I feel like maybe there's a spot there, and I hope Sasha Banks can become what she was in NXT maybe soon. And then we have the Cruiserweight Tag Team match, which I don't think is on the kickoff. I do know it's Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann taking on Jack Gallagher and Brian Kendrick, or the Brian Kendrick, and I'll say that Alexander and Swann will take this one. Again, I don't fully know what's happening over there. Maybe I'm just making a blind prediction, but I think the good guys are going to win. After weeks and weeks of promos, Asuka will finally be making her main roster debut against Emma, who won the Fatal 5-Way on Raw. And I do believe, wasn't Emma Asuka's first opponent in NXT as well? I could be wrong on that one, although I think I am pretty sure. I think it's pretty obvious that Asuka is going to be winning this match. Of course, she is still technically undefeated. She never dropped her title in NXT. I mean, she did vacate it due to injury, but she was never beaten for it, so I would presume that they're going to go forward with this undefeated thing, and of course she is probably just going to walk all over Emma. And she is probably going to be promoted straight to the Women's Championship match, now that I think about it. I mean, Alexa and Mickie James, which I'm going to get into in a little bit, I don't think is going to be a long-term thing. I think Asuka, it only makes sense for her to jump right to the title picture, considering the fact that she's never lost before. So again, I'm going to say Asuka defeats Emma with the Asuka lock, probably. And speaking of Alexa Bliss, she of course will be defending her Raw Women's Championship against Mickie James. We are seeing this feud yet again. Like I said, just talking about it, I don't think this is going to be a long-term thing. I think Alexa is going to retain her Raw Women's Championship, beating Mickie James. And I think Alexa and Asuka could be something really interesting, although I can almost guarantee that Asuka will become the Raw Women's Champion very soon, only because, I mean, what is Asuka supposed to do in the meantime? She's just going to walk through everybody. So honestly, you might as well just give her the title. And this is kind of off topic a little bit, but I am wondering when the next superstar shakeup is going to be, because it really feels like, especially with the women's division on Raw and SmackDown, that they're just sort of recycling the same opponents for the same people. We'll see where everything goes. There really does need to be a shakeup soon, only because even for the female and male side of both divisions, we've really seen the same sort of matches happening over and over again. So we'll see if this superstar shakeup happens again, because I really hope it does. Kalisto will be defending his recently won Cruiserweight Championship against Enzo Amore. The Cruiserweight division did take a really big hit, losing Neville. The rumors have it right now that Neville, of course, asked for his release and will probably end up getting it, I'd imagine. And he'll become a big star wherever he goes, to Japan or wherever he goes. He will be a huge star, I guarantee you. But he was sort of, in my opinion, one of the only things the Cruiserweight division had. You can always look forward to a Neville match or when Neville's on television, because he was doing a phenomenal job. And of course, now that he's gone, there's sort of a big gap, or there's room for something here. Enzo Amore, I think, has been doing a good job. As much as I'm not the hugest fan of him, I think he's been doing a good job with the cards that he's been dealt. And I think he's actually going to win back the Cruiserweight Championship here. Maybe that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I figure as they're looking for a replacement for Neville, they're going to scramble for some stuff, and maybe Enzo ends up winning the Cruiserweight Championship so that they can continue this feud with Kalisto. Again, they need to find somebody or do something to change it up, because Neville is a huge loss to the Cruiserweight division, and I really hope they can recover. I did not think I was going to be making my predictions for AJ Styles versus freaking Finn Balor at TLC. I thought we were going to get Sister Abigail versus the Demon as it was advertised, but as it turns out, there's something going on in the locker room, and Bray is going to be out for some amount of time. Same thing for Roman, I believe. They needed to find a replacement. They still wanted the Demon on the show, so they went and they got SmackDown Live's AJ Styles, and I am curious how they're going to explain that. With, of course, a SmackDown superstar just randomly getting put on a Raw show. But there are actually people who are upset about this, and I actually see where they're coming from. There are people who say that this match is worthy of WrestleMania. It's worthy of a build with a story and an epic match happening at a big show. And, of course, we're getting it here at TLC with like 2 days' notice. So while I do see that side, I honestly cannot complain that we're seeing this match. This is a dream match for me, and I know a lot of people out there who can't wait to see these two get in the ring. But unfortunately, I don't think there is going to be a decisive winner. I think probably Jinder Mahal will interfere. I feel like that makes the most amount of sense. That's what I'm seeing a lot of people say. I gotta agree with that. Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers will probably end up interfering, costing AJ the match, or maybe it just ends up being a no contest or something like that. Because when you think about it, I don't think either one of these guys is just going to pin the other one clean. That doesn't really make the biggest amount of sense for where both these guys are going in the future. It should be an absolutely amazing match. Depending on how it turns out, it could be match of the year if they get enough time and if it actually turns out being a match and not some stupid interference from somebody else. But I honestly can't wait to see it. It's going to be great. I'm going to say it's a no contest. I really can't predict who's going to win. But if I have to say one person just for the sake of there will not be any interference and I have to call it down the middle, I'll say Finn Balor is my prediction. And then we have our main event where The Bar, Sheamus, and Cesaro will be teaming with Braun Strowman, The Miz, and Kane to take on 2/3 of the recently reunited Shield, Ambrose and Rollins, and Roman Reigns' replacement, the Raw GM himself, Kurt Angle. When I first saw this on Instagram, I saw the WWE post. It was breaking news: Kurt Angle to replace Roman Reigns, AJ Styles to face Finn Balor at TLC. I honestly thought they were hacked. Like, I didn't believe it, honestly. I really thought they were hacked. And then I got the notification through the WWE app, and I was like, holy hell, what is going on? It turns out that the Raw GM himself will be replacing Roman Reigns to take on these 5 men in a handicapped TLC match. It honestly does make sense why they would have a big name like Angle to replace Roman Reigns. The Shield coming together is the main selling point of this pay-per-view, and if that's not going to happen, you have to do something big, so they went with, I guess, one of the biggest things they could do, and they have Kurt Angle replace Roman Reigns, I guess teaming with the Shield for the time being. Also, something that was announced today randomly is that Triple H is going to be wrestling on some tour, I guess replacing, I think it was AJ, I can't remember who exactly he's replacing, but there were rumors that it could be Kurt Angle and Triple H at Survivor Series or maybe even WrestleMania. So, I mean, maybe something could happen with Triple H. I'm not really sure. I mean, hey, we're going to get to see Angle in the same ring with guys like Strowman and Cesaro. I can't freaking wait for that. I hope at some point during this match, Angle and Cesaro can just be in the ring together, and for just like 2 minutes, let them do whatever they got to do. I mean, it's going to be crazy to see Kurt Angle wrestling again. I mean, this is so out of nowhere, but we'll see what happens. I think the Shield and Kurt Angle are gonna win. I think it only makes sense for Angle, considering this is his first match in like 11 years or something, to win. I think that's a guarantee that they're gonna beat these 5 men. It is going to be crazy, especially if Angle can put the ankle lock on Braun Strowman. Just imagine. I mean, there's so much that could happen. But that's going to do it for my predictions for TLC. Man, this is going to be a wild show after the 2 matches that were just announced. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, stay tuned to the next one.